everyone! It's me once again. I like the designs of Wreck and Ruin. They're kind of cool looking from what I've seen. I don't know much about them, obviously.
Or Rack and Ruin.
Yeah, they're Transformers characters. I don't think they have a toy, though. I saw their design once and I thought it was cool. Anyway, we're heading to this and see where it goes, and maybe Chrono will learn about some characters that he likes. Anyway, if you like what we're doing here, I'm going to say that bit at the end. I don't know why I started it. Anyway, get ready and see. Apparently you got booped, Chrono.
Well,
Yes, boop more.
Yeah.
This week we're wrapping up Obscure Characters Month 2022 with a look
Yeah, I
at the
like their
history
head
of the
design.
twin Autobot wreckers, who are two bots in one, Rack and Ruin.
I don't know why I said it like that, but oh well.
Rack and Ruin were original characters created in 1986 by writer Simon Furman and artist Ron
saw them
Smith
somewhere
for the
before, I don't remember
Transformers
where.
comic published in the United Kingdom by Marvel. The unusual pair were essentially robotic conjoined
Potatoes.
twins, two identical bots joined at the shoulder.
They make me
Which
think
was
of the
Rack
Iron
and
Giant
which
for
was
some
Ruin
reason.
was never said, but
Yeah.
their one remaining right arm ended in an anvil and their left in a hammer. Debuting in issue number 82, they were members of the Autobot commando unit, the Wreckers, and regularly appeared as part of the team over the next 2 years' worth of stories. They didn't have much in the way of personality, beyond being rough and ready fighters like most of their teammates, but the unusual
cool, though.
visual of the characters made
7
them
of
cult
those.
favorite.
Need one.
Let me see here. I do like their visual design overall. We don't really get conjoined robot twins or anything, as far as I know. Probably someone in the comments will correct me on this. But I like them overall. They're kind of cool. Anyway, let's head more into this. I just like their overall design to me. That's just a thing.
With the comics audience, and many kids sent in letters wanting to know more about them.
Oh!
In response, a fact booklet included with issue number 200 explained
cool.
that the pair had once been individual robots who had been surgically combined to save their lives.
Oh.
They had previously turned into Cybertronian mini-jets, but since being combined, they had lost the ability to transform.
Damn.
In the end, Rack and Ruin met their match when they went up against the time-traveling future Decepticon,
Aw.
Galvatron, and were killed by a shot from his cannon. The very
Okay, there's not
definition
like
of an
me.
obscure favourite,
Form.
Rack and Ruin wouldn't appear in any new Transformers media for over 2 decades, until 2010, when longtime Marvel UK fans Nick Roach and James Roberts
Nice.
incorporated the characters into the comic books they wrote for IDW Publishing. IDW's Rack and Ruin only appeared in flashback stories,
They're
as in
Decepticons?
this universe, the pair had died sometime before the present day.
I don't know what it is about their design. I just really like it. I'm not sure what it is, really.
it's because they're green.
No, it's not just because they're green. If it was just that, then there would be a lot of Transformers that I just like.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool that they were like mini jets before they ended up conjoining themselves.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. If they're willing to go through that just to save each other's lives, but yeah.
Yeah.
Some people would never do that.
Nope.
These stories established that Rack was the one with the anvil, revealed what the pair's faces looked like beneath their featureless domed helmets,
I prefer the domed
distinguishing them
helmets.
by giving Ruin some facial damage, and gave them a new, expanded backstory, explaining that they were originally Decepticons, who lost their ability to transform long before being linked together due to overworking their transformation cogs. They were captured by the Autobots after a failed mission and placed in the custody of Orion Pax, the young Optimus Prime, to be returned to the Decepticons in exchange for the release of the captured Autobot medical officer, Ratchet.
I see.
Rack and Ruin begged Pax not to hand them over as they knew they'd be killed for their failure. When the exchange went sour and ended up in a firefight, Rack and Ruin helped the Autobots get safely away, and went on to join up with the faction, eventually becoming wreckers, then
Cool.
being fused to one another. Now, IDW's Rack and Ruin were actually two of a set of triplets, three brothers whose sparks were all metaphysically connected to one another. Such spark-bonded siblings couldn't survive without each other. If one died, the others would too. And Rack and Ruin's third brother had died long ago, implying that the extinguishing of his spark had left Rack and Ruin slowly dying too. And that, similar to the Marvel series, the pair were surgically merged as a way to extend their lives.
I see.
Though it was never said if it was their failing sparks that eventually killed them, or if they met their end in battle.
So wait, we know that they died, we just don't know how.
Yeah.
I prefer to have a real end to it. Yeah.
At least in the IDW comics. The
Yeah.
other one said that it was a time traveler Decepticon that killed them.
Yeah, Galvatron. He's a whole
Yeah.
thing. But on another note, Fable has actually been reading a lot of these comics, so maybe he might know more. I don't know. He's been reading the Skybound comics, which apparently get really
Dark?
rated M for mature. Yeah, really dark.
Very dark.
Oh,
Anyway.
Following this big reintroduction, Rack and Ruin went on to appear among the Wreckers in several new pieces of media over the years that followed,
Nice.
including 2013's Regeneration 1, an alternate continuation of the Marvel series that ignored their deaths at Galvatron's hands, the Transformers Legends mobile game, and they had a notable role in the 2014 novel Retribution, which introduced the pair into the world of Transformers Prime and gave them a new origin as Autobot prisoners of war who had been fused together in an experiment carried out by the Decepticon
Of course,
mad scientist
Shockwave.
Shockwave. They specifically
Shockwave is also apparently in this continuity. The reason the Dinobots turned into dinosaurs is because he experimented on them.
Huh.
Also, apparently, the recent comics are like reading a 40k book. It's grimdark. Goddamn. They really went all out for it. What were you gonna say, Chrono?
I just said, oh, that's interesting.
joined the Wreckers for a shot at revenge against Shockwave and personally destroyed his tower headquarters. In 2018, Rack and Ruin made their momentous first
I missed
appearance
their helmets.
in animation in the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon. Somewhat different to past versions of the characters, Cyberverse Rack and Ruin had never been two individual bots. Rather, they had been born in their conjoined state, two
That's not
torsos
bad.
atop a single set of legs. Their heads were based on the characters' unmasked appearances from
I still prefer the
IDW's
mask.
comics, and while they had normal arms, they did wield huge hammers as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Depicted not as wreckers, but simply as part of the crew of the Autobot starship the Ark, they were good-hearted but dim-witted guys who were largely minor comedy characters. They
Damn.
appeared mainly as part of a running gag in which they attempted to stack crates, only to have their hard work ruined by other Transformers.
Oh my god.
Once, when the Ark traveled outside of space and time and encountered a series of duplicates of itself from parallel dimensions, the big punchline of the scene was that one version of the ship was captained by the dopey duo.
What?
The pair eventually enjoyed a dedicated showcase episode of their own,
Oh,
Season
nice.
3's Rack and Ruin and Ratchet, in which they were stacking crates aboard a shuttle when Ratchet took the craft out on a mission, unintentionally bringing Rack and Ruin along with him, who then had to rescue Ratchet after he was captured by the Decepticons. Season 4
Damn.
even featured an evil counterpart to Rack and Ruin, the two-headed mercenary, Double Crosser, whose two halves, unlike the buddy-buddy Rack and Ruin, were constantly arguing with one another.
I think
That's funny.
they do. There's a series called Shattered Glass. Basically, it's everyone's alignment is flipped,
Yeah.
and sometimes their personality. Like Grimlock, who's usually dimwit, is somehow a super scientist and evil. You know, there's an evil Optimus Prime. You know, a good Megatron, a very loyal Starscream. That sort of thing.
The first ever toy of Rack
Oh.
and Ruin
Oh, no,
was
it's just-
released in the Cyberverse
At least they got a
line
toy.
in 2020. Just as in the comics,
But
the
the toys
characters
in
were never
Cyberverse
seen to
toyline don't look
transform in
great.
the cartoon, but the figure converted into an armored
What, do you
car
need me
and
to
featured
buy you a
flip-out
toy or
Energon
something?
armor styled after the twins'
All
domed
those are on my
helmets from
phone.
the Marvel comic.
You don't need to
In
buy
the
me a
time
toy.
since Cyberverse Rack and Ruin's introduction, IDW have rebooted
Oh.
their comic books. And just this month, in the Wreckers miniseries, Tread and Circuits, which reintroduces the team into this new rebooted universe, Rack and Ruin appear among a list
think
of
that's
potential
Starsaber.
new members for the group, based on the Cyberverse version of the characters. Harkening back to the past,
I still
while
like that
opening
they're
up
here.
a new future for a peculiar pair of once obscure bots, Rack and Ruin prove that two heads really are better than one. And those are the basics.
I've said this before, but I love the art of Shattered Glass Starscream and his overall seem to be theming of a true loyal commander. It's basically what it seems to be what Starscream could have become. It's kind of a crazy thought. But yeah, I like Shattered Glass a lot. I need to actually read it at some point. Anyway, thank you all so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Have fun as well, and take care of yourselves. Just remember, till all are one. Anyway.